In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you step by step how to create a squeeze page. So if you're wondering what a squeeze page is, this is a page which is used by small business owners and internet marketers to collect leads. So without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's get started.
Today's tutorial is made possible by dvcake.com. Check out their huge selection of Divi themes, layouts, and plugins. The link is in the description below. Okay, so before we get started, let's talk about the plugin and the service that we're going to use in order for this squeeze page to work. So first of all, let's talk about the Thrive Leads plugin called Thrive Leads. So this plugin is very important because this is the plugin that collects all the leads and then it hands it over to ConvertKit, and this is our autoresponder. So this is what I recommend because it is packed with features like automations, sequences, and A/B testing on broadcasts. But if you are using MailChimp, that will also work, or even Aweber. Okay, so let's start off by creating a new form. So I'm going to come over here and go to the main dashboard. So I'm going to click on Create Form, and then I'm just going to choose a basic form like that. And then on the top here, we're just going to give this a name. So let's call this Divi Leads. And then now we can go into all these options here to set up all these other options. But for now, we're going to leave this as it is. So I'm going to click on Save. So if we take a look here at our dashboard, we'll see that we now have a new list called Divi Leads. And it is right here. Okay, so when people start signing up onto this, this counter will be showing you how many subscribers we have and how many have converted. Okay, so over here on Thrive Leads, this is where you can go in and download this plugin. Now, this is a paid plugin, by the way, but to be honest with you, if you buy this plugin, you won't regret it. This plugin is fantastic and it can be used on so many other websites that you have. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and downloaded the plugin. So let's go into our WordPress website and let's begin building this page. Right, so I'm going to come over here to Pages and click on Add New. Right, so let's call this page Squeeze. In fact, I'll just call it SQ1. Now, a squeeze page doesn't need to have a header and footer area because you want to remove all distractions as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the template and then click on blank page. So by clicking on blank page, it means that our header and footer is going to be removed. Let's go ahead and click on publish. Great. Now let's build our page. So the first thing I'm going to do is to come over here to use Divi Builder. I'm going to click on that and then I'm going to go straight to the Visual Builder. Excellent. So as you can see, we don't have any headers and footers on this page. Right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start by adding a single column. So this is where we're going to have our heading. So this is going to be a text module. So I'm going to search for it and then click on text. So now we have our text module. So here I need to add a title to this. So I'm going to say 100% free course like that. And then I'm going to highlight this and assign a heading 1 onto this. Next, I'm going to go into design, click on heading text, and I'm going to change my font to Poppins. And I'm going to change it from regular to bold. Okay. And then I'm going to boost the size a little bit like that. Right. So next thing we need to center this. So I'm going to come over here to heading text alignment and then I'm going to center it. So that looks great so far. I'm going to save. Right. So let's move on and let's add another row. So I'm going to come over here and click this plus button. So the row that we need this time needs to have 2 columns. So the first column here needs to have a video. So I'm going to search for my video module and select it. So by default, we will have this video come in here just as a placeholder, which is great. So I'm going to save that. And then over here, we need to also have a title and some text. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to add a text module. And again, this comes in with some dummy text. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Lorem 2. Because I just prefer using Lorem 2. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that and I'm going to paste it in here. And then I'm just going to enter this and I'm going to use that text as a title. So this is the text I'm going to have on the top there, but now I'm also going to need a title to go along with that. But before I add the title, I need to come over here to design, click on text and begin to change our font to Poppins. And we're also going to increase the size to about, let's say 16 and also increase the line height. Okay, that looks great. I'm going to save. I'm also going to add another text module. Now, this text module is going to have our title. So I'm going to get my title from Lorem 2. So I'm going to copy it. And then over here, I'm going to paste it and give it an assign heading 2 or even heading 3. I think that would work. Okay, so I'm going to go to Design, Heading Text, click on the H3 tab. I'm also going to change this to Poppins, and I'm going to change this to semi-bold. So I think that looks great. I'm going to center it and then save. So all I have to do now is to drag this to the top. Okay, so now this is coming along. Next, I need to add a line that separates this title and the paragraph. So I'm going to click this plus button and add our divider module. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to Design, click on Sizing. So the weight, I'm just going to bump it up to about, let's say 3. And the width, let's bring it down to about 60% or maybe even 50. Okay, that looks great. I'm going to center it. And we are going to change the color. So I'm going to come over here to color. And yeah, let's go with that. So that looks fine. I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to drag it between the title and this text. So as we can see here, we have a lot of space right here. So let's go ahead and fix that. So I'm going to go back into the module settings, click on Design, Spacing. In fact, we need to go into Sizing. And then I am going to adjust my height. So I'm going to bring this down to 0. So that looks much better now. I'm going to save. Great. So the next thing we need to do is to add another text module. So this text module we're going to add here is the one that's going to have our shortcode for our opt-in form. So I'm going to click this plus button and just add our text module like that. So for now, I'm going to leave it as it is and then save. Now let's take a look at this row. So we don't want to make this slightly bigger. So I'm going to come over here to my row settings, click on Design, Sizing. So we're going to use custom width for this, and then I'm going to change my unit to about, to percentage, and I'm going to change this to about maybe 70%. Save. Okay, so our page is looking great. So what we need to do now is to design the form that's going to collect all our leads. So I'm going to save this page, and then I'm going to come over here and open my dashboard in a new tab like that. Okay, so my plugin is already installed, and if you don't know how to install plugins, it's very straightforward. All you need to do is to come over here to plugins, click on all plugins, and then you want to click on add new, and then click on upload plugin, choose file, and then all you have to do is to locate the plugin where it is on your computer, and then click on install. So once Thrive Leads is installed, you need to come over here to the license manager. So this is where you need to add your email address and license key, and then click activate. So I've already gone ahead and done it. So as you can see here, it says active Thrive Leads. Great. So now let's create our opt-in form. So I'm going to come over here to Thrive Leads. I'm going to need a shortcodes opt-in. So I'm going to click on add new. So I'm going to call this Divi Leads. Add lead shortcode. So we can see here, it's right here. And then I'm going to click on edit, create form. Okay, let's call this Divi squeeze, create form. And by the way, you can name these forms whatever you want. Next, I'm going to come over here now and design how this is going to look. So I'm going to click on edit design. Right, so there are several options here we can go with. So these are set templates. So we can choose any one of these and use these as a starting point for our design. But in my case, I won't be using any of this. So I'm going to come to the blank one and click on choose template. Great. So this is a starting point. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in and customize all this. So I'm going to start by clicking here on lead generation. And then you can see here now that it's asking us to connect to service. So this stage is very important because if you miss this, you won't be able to collect all your leads. So I'm going to click here on connect form to service. So I already have ConvertKit. So I'm going to click on ConvertKit. Okay, so now I can load my lists. So if I click this drop down, we will see all the lists that we created. So I'm going to click on reload because I can't see the one we just created. Okay, let's try again. Okay, there it is. Divi leads. Great. So I'm going to click on continue. And then these are the form fields that we're going to use. So that's fine. I'm going to click on next. And then here it says post opt-in action. So what you want to happen when someone signs up for this free course. So you can either choose to redirect them to a specific URL, or you can show them a success notification. So in our case, I'm just going to click on show success notification. And here you can also add the customized message. So for now, I'm just going to leave it as it is and just leave it as success. Click on save. So now our form has been connected. Great. So next I'm going to come over here and click on edit form elements. So this allows us now to go in and customize these elements. So I'm going to click on name. So I can increase the size here, as you can see. And I'm also going to add some padding. I want this nice and big. Okay, I'm going to make this bold. So what we can do here with the typography, we can come in here and play around with the colors. So let's say I want this to be a lighter gray. Okay, I think that's fine. I'm going to click apply. Next, I need some borders here. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to come here to the borders and I'm going to increase the size of the borders. So let's try 3. Okay, that seems okay. And then I'm going to come over here to my rounded corners. I'm going to make this 4. I really like that. So that looks great. And then I'm just going to click on save for now. Right. So what I'm going to do next here is I'm going to customize this button. So I'm going to click here on this button. And then instead of saying sign up, I'm just going to say download videos, assuming that you're giving all these videos away for free, of course. Okay. So I'm going to click update. Next, I'm going to come over here and make this text slightly bigger. So I think 26 is perfect for this. And then here for the color, I'm going to change this color to this. Click apply. And I also need this to be slightly bigger. So I'm going to come over here to my padding and I'm going to increase that. So our button is nice and big. And then over here, we can also add rounded corners. So I'm going to add 4 to this. Okay, so that looks great. In fact, that may be a bit too much here. So let me just reduce this a little bit to about maybe 21. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm happy with my form. So now I'm going to click on save and close. And then here now, I need to come in here and remove this background color. So I'm just going to click on that. And then I'm going to come here to the background color and drag the slider until it is full transparency. Okay, that's looking great now. So that means when I add this form onto our page, it won't have any backgrounds onto it. So which is great. In fact, one thing I may want to do here is to go back in and make some changes to my text here on the button. So I'm going to click edit forms, form elements. And then I'm going to make this all caps like that. Click on update. And I'm also going to make it bold. And the good thing about this as well is it is responsive. So you can come and test it here by clicking this little icon at the bottom here. Click on tablet, and that gives you an idea of how that's going to look on a tablet and also on a mobile device, which is great. Okay, I'm going to go back to my desktop view. So I'm pretty much happy with this. I'm going to click on save and close. Save. So all I have to do now is to close this and then get my shortcode. So I'm going to close here, copy my shortcode. So every time you want to make changes to this opt-in, you can always go into your leads item and then click on edit. Okay, so back to our Divi page that we are working on. I'm going to click here on my text module settings. I'm going to highlight all this, delete that, and then paste my shortcode in here. Okay, I'm going to save. And now we can see that our form has been added in. So that looks great. So all we need to do now is to make a few adjustments here and just make sure that we don't have this dead white space right here in the middle. So let's fix that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and activate grid mode. And then I'm going to go in and make those changes. So first of all, I'm going to get rid of all the white space by coming over here to spacing. And I'm going to reduce my margins like that. And I'm going to make sure that there's 0 padding to the top and also 0 padding to the bottom. save that. Okay, so far this is looking great. So what I may want to do is to come in here and just tidy up this a little bit, because this text is not in line with my opt-in form right here. So let me go ahead and fix that. So I'm going to click on Enable Visual Builder. Okay, so I need to set my margin bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate this chain, and then I'm just going to use this dial to see how much space I need. So I think this looks great. So as you can see here, this doesn't do any justice on the top here because we don't want this white space. So I'm going to disable this chain and just add a 0 to the top. Okay, so that's great. I'm going to save. So with my click mode selected, I'm going to come over here and I can see here there's a lot of space again below this title. So I'm going to click here and go into the settings, design, spacing. So let's start with our margin bottom. So I'm just going to decrease that to about, let's say 10. So that looks way much better now. Okay, I'm going to save and this looks fine. So what I need to do here now is to go into this text module, go into the settings, and I'm going to reduce the size by going into sizing, and I'm going to play around with the width here until I'm happy with the size. So I think this works fine at 93%. So I'm going to go ahead and save. Right, so I'm pretty much happy with what I have so far. So let's go ahead and add another section here. So I'm going to come over here, click this plus button, click on regular. We're going to add 2 columns. So in the left column, we're going to have some text. So I'm going to click here, add my text module. And then I'm going to come over here to lorem 2, and I'm going to copy these lists. So these lists will just work as the benefits of signing up for this free course. So I'm going to add it here like that. And then we're going to customize the size. So I'm going to come over here to design, text, increase the size, increase the line height. Okay, so what we're going to do next, we're going to come over here to the bullets and then we're going to customize that. So let's work with the line height. So I'm going to increase it here like that. And we're going to come over here to our font and choose Poppins. Okay, so I think 22 is fine. And we're just going to increase a bit more line height here so it's easier to read. Okay, so that looks great. I'm going to save. So what we need to do next here is to match what we have above here in terms of the size of the row. So in fact, I may want to reduce this row, to be honest, because it looks a bit too big. So I'm going to come over here and click on design, sizing, and I'm going to reduce this to about, let's say 66%. Save that. And then I'm going to come here and do the same thing. Click my settings, design, sizing, use custom width, and I'm going to set this to percentage and also add 66. Okay, so that's looking great. And then over here, we can just add, something maybe that just shows that it's a product or whatever it is. So I'm going to come over here and add an image module, and we're going to choose an image. So I'm just going to choose that, click upload, and then I'm going to save. Right, so that's looking great so far. So what I may want to do as well here is to go in and add a border on the bottom here. So I'm going to click here and go into my row settings, click on design, border, and we're going to add 1 pixel all around. And for the color, we don't want this to be very prominent. So I'm just going to reduce this a little bit until I get to about halfway. Okay, I may want to make this about 2 pixels though. Right, so that's much better. Great, so all I have to do now is to go in and add some padding. So I'm going to go to spacing. So padding top and bottom. In fact, this is better if we use this chain. And I'm also going to do the same here. That, so 46. And we may as well use the same value here. Okay, so that's looking great. And then finally, I'm going to come over here and add a title. So let's add a text module. Okay, so we're going to give this heading 1. Go into design, heading text. And then I'm going to come over here and just choose my font, which is Poppins, make this bold, and then save. So now I'm just going to drag this to the top, like that. And I may want to also reduce the spacing below this. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to the padding, and 10 is fine. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and save, and pretty much this is our design. So I'm going to save this, and let's do a quick preview. Okay, so far this looks great. So what I may want to do here is one more quick adjustment, which is to increase the space between my form and this text that we have above here. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to come here into Enable Visual Builder. I'm going to click the settings, design, sizing, In fact, I need to go to spacing. Then I'm just going to reduce this to about maybe 66, like that. Save. Oh, and one more thing. I'm going to come over here to my video module and I'm going to add an image overlay. So I'm going to come over here to overlay, add image. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and choose a random image because I don't have an image to add in there. Okay, so the image I'm going to use is this one here of the sunset. So I'm going to click upload an image. So as you can see, this looks way much better, but ideally you want to use an image that works with whatever you're working with. So I'm going to come over here to design, play icon. I can also change the color of the icon, but I'm going to leave this as it is. I'm just showing you where things are. And then over here on the sizing, I can reduce the size as well if I wanted to, but it's fine as it is. Okay, so I'm pretty much happy with my forms or with my video. So I'm going to save. So I'm going to save my page and exit the builder. Okay, so let me explain what is happening here. So if someone comes to this page and they sign up, so I'm going to come over here and add my name just to simulate that. And I'm going to add my email. Okay, so if I click on download videos, we can see here we have success on the top. So that means this has worked. So now I need to go to my email and check if anything has arrived. So I'm going to come over here, go to Yahoo. I'm going to go to mail and I can see here, important, confirm your subscription. I'm going to click on that. So this is where I need to confirm my subscription. Excellent. So subscription is confirmed. Now, if I go to ConvertKit and if I refresh under Divi Leads, we should see that we now have a new subscriber. So I'm going to refresh this. And there we go. We have the subscriber. And if I click here on the subscriber, it also tells me who the subscriber is by coming over here to subscribers. Okay, so there we go. So I'm the subscriber. So now what you can do is, let's say you have quite a lot of subscribers in your mailing list. You can send them broadcast emails by coming over here to broadcasts. You click on new broadcast and then you can select where you want your email to be sent. So I'm going to come over here, add filter, subscribe to. So I'm going to say forms, select forms. And then here we have Divi Leads, update filter. And then you can click on next. So this is the part which I was mentioning earlier on, that this is the reason why ConvertKit is fantastic. It's because you can do A/B testing. So if I come here and click on A/B, I can actually add two separate email subjects here, and then the system calculates which one is better and chooses that one for your subscribers. And then all you have to do is to add your email content, click next, and then that information is sent. Today's tutorial is made possible by divicake.com. Check out their huge selection of Divi themes, layouts, and plugins. The link is in the description below.
So there you have it. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up and do subscribe on the channel. By subscribing, you'll be notified every time I release new tutorials. Until next time, thanks for watching and see you soon.